All right, let's take you through our top story in a very disturbing picture that's coming to light. News that really has upset us, very disturbing to say the least. Police data shows that over 800 people have gone missing in Delhi in just the first 15 days of 2026. Between January 1st and January 15th, a total of 807 people reported missing. Nearly two-thirds of them, that's 509, are women and girls. The figures show that dozens go missing literally every day, roughly about 54 people who go missing every single day. Imagine, and largely women. Now, among those who are missing, 191 are minors. Minors, teenagers, adolescents, and of that, 138 are girls. Only 48 are minors, 29 are girls, 19 are boys. They've all been traced, leaving around 70 of them still untraceable. When I first heard this number, I honestly thought it had to be exaggerated, but it isn't. Delhi police has confirmed that 107 people have gone missing in just the first 15 days of 2026. Really let that sink in. More than 800 people in just 2 weeks from the national capital. What's really disturbing here is out of the 107 missing people, 509 are women and girls. That's nearly two-thirds. This means every single day, on an average, 54 people are reported missing from Delhi. Now, breaking that number up for you, among the total missing are 191 children, minors. Of them, 146 are girls and 45 are boys. Adults make up the biggest group here. 616 adults went missing in the first half of January, of which 363 are women and 253 are men. Cops say that they are on the job, but around 70% are still missing. Of the 807, only 235 individuals have been traced back so far. Imagine as many as 572 people still remain unaccounted for. What's really staggering is these 807 cases has been reported in just the first 15 days of this year, just half a month. Official records show that in Delhi, on an average, nearly 2,000 people go missing every single month. The latest figures mirrors a long trend. For nearly 10 years, similar trend has been on in the national capital. In 2025 alone, Delhi has recorded over 24,000 missing persons cases, with women accounting for more than 60% of that total. A decade-long analysis shows that nearly 2.3 lakh people have gone missing in the last 10 years in Delhi, with 52,000 cases still unresolved. Operations like Operation Milap and AI-based tools have managed to help to some extent, but not really a lot. Success is not as much as we would expect from the police. Experts say there are many reasons. There's a huge migration to the city, so something like this can happen. Financial stress of many people, exploitation and trafficking, lack of awareness, overstretched policing. Whatever the reasons, families don't understand any of that. For them, all that matters and all that they know and see is that their loved ones are gone, that they're missing, and they have no contact. So, the uncomfortable truth, we keep calling Delhi the national capital, but with nearly 2,000 people vanishing every month from the national capital, is it really slowly becoming India's missing capital instead? Let me bring in Ellen Rao, former DCP of Delhi, joining us. We also have Advocate Jyotika Kalra, advocate of from the Supreme Court, joining us, and also former member, National Human Rights Commission. Thanks very much, both of you, for joining us. Ellen Rao, your take on this. As a former cop, how do you see this? I'm just devastated to see the numbers. In fact, I had my family members sending me these videos, and I thought the numbers were exaggerated, but we have police reactions confirming this. It's shocking.
Good evening, Nabila ji. Really, these figures are shocking, and no doubt these have been sent by the police. These data are not exaggerated, and that is only on police record. But really, we have to see that what is the reason. No, as you rightly said, that it is not only this year or this month. It is always on the same trend for the last 10 years. Because you know the population in Delhi is floating population, and huge population is there. And if you go analysis these data, you will find that these maximum men or women or girls or boys are found missing from the low strata and the JJ clusters also. That is also analysis by the police. But at the same time, why on these data also these people go missing? We have to find out the reasons. The reasons is not only that all these people are being kidnapped or by someone, but they might have gone at their own. They might have gone because of some financial crisis. They might have gone for some job, searching for the job, and so many other reasons maybe for this missing of these people. But certainly, the police has a duty to trace all these things wherever they have been gone. But the police has two categories of this. I must tell you the two categories of missing persons. That is one is that missing of minor boys and girls. These are definitely, there are instructions from the police that if the missing person is below 13 or 14 years, then definitely a case should have been registered irrespective of whether there is any suspicion or not. But if these minor about 13, 14 years, then the criminal case has to be registered for kidnapping for them. And that investigation is speedily done by the police. And second category is that the children or young persons above the age of 18 years, then in that case that only missing person as missing reports are reported. And in case in that also, if there is any suspicion about any kidnapping or abduction, then the case is registered, the criminal case is registered for investigation. Now, we must know that there is a standard operating procedure to find out missing persons. That standard operating procedure is adopted by all police stations in Delhi, and there is a one centralized agency that is called Missing Persons Squad in crime branch of all Delhi police that caters all the data and documents about the status about the missing persons also. And on the basis of those data, they analyzes the trend also, which type of age people are missing, and then where are these gone, and then the recovery, whether it has been recovered or not, then it's traced or not. Definitely, this is the figure is alarming. But if we go for the recovery ratio also, the police is doing their job to recover them also. No doubt in that. But still, there is a need to do so more.
I don't know how much police is doing their job, sir. I'm sorry. I mean, these kind of figures are staggering.
Yeah,
is it because we are not able to handle a population this large? Are we not equipped enough? Don't we have enough tools, technology? Where are we failing?
No, I know that the police is doing their job, but no doubt.
Are we short-staffed? Is the police short-staffed?
No doubt they want to be more efficient and more tax savvy to trace these untraced missing persons.
No, but what's shocking, sir, is that we have really advanced when it comes to technology in India. We've moved forward with tech, with our cameras, CCTV cameras all over. We're now so digital friendly. In an age like this, the numbers have remained the same. From 2017, 2016 to 2026, the numbers have remained the same. That many, and there's zero explanation that the police can give as to why this is happening. That's what's even more sad.
Nabila, I just want to know, I want to tell you and to your viewers that the intelligence input about these persons who are involved in kidnapping or abduction of the gangs, who are involved in the human trafficking.
See, that's precisely where I was coming at. You say that there are gangs. Could you give us a little, decode it for us? Tell us a little more. What's happening in Delhi?
We need to increase our intelligence input about those gangs to locate them and to have a very huge pressure on them. And there should be a fear of law in the mind of those gang people, and then only after that
Sir, what kind of gangs are we talking about? Little simplify for us. I know you can't say for certain, I understand that, but just what kind of gangs in your tenure when you were practicing, what gangs are we looking at?
Nabila, let me tell you very clearly that some persons who have been arrested in some previous cases of this human trafficking and kidnapping, and there are certain gangs who are forcing these people to the begging, to the immoral trafficking, all these things, immoral prostitution also, I must say. Those gangs are to be located, to be traced, and if they are found involved in kidnapping of these young people or adolescent people for those purposes, they should be dealt with according to the law of our land. But the only important thing is that we must be equipped with a very sensitive collection of intelligence about those gangs. Only then they can be apprehended. And if they are on record, the police is required to have a continuous pressure on them to get the information about any such thing is happening by them or by any other person which they know about it. They should tell the police about all these things. And if there is some new gang is operating about it, then that police should have a mechanism to find out those persons also who are in a new gang whose record is not there in the police.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, most important aspect of that policing is that the intelligence network about these gangs is very important to trace and locate them at the earliest.
So I want to get a little understanding on whether this is targeted kidnapping. Is this a whole a nexus, an operation that's been consistent for 10 years in Delhi, where they're very carefully picking and choosing, because we're looking at minors, so many minors, and how many women, nearly 500 odd women out of the 800. So is this a clear targeting of people who are young and adolescents and women particularly?
Nabila, it's not all the people, all the missing persons of adolescent age they are targeting of this kidnapping. There are so many other girls and men also who are going out of their house, missing their houses at their own.
Okay, well, I understand that. Going on their own, not, running away with their, lover, all of that I understand. But I'm asking, is there an organized syndicate? Is there an organized gang?
Yes, that possibility cannot be ruled out, ma'am. That definitely there may be some organized, and that is the only requirement by the police, that they should identify that organized gang, and they should be heavily the police action on those organized gangs.
Yeah. It's scary to say the least. I was startled to even see the numbers, and I really thought it was exaggerated when I read up a little and I cross-checked. And we find out that this is consistent for 10 years. Every month from Delhi, 2,000 people go missing. So this does not sit well. It's not natural, where how you can say someone ran away with their lover or someone walks away from their home. These are not that kind of cases. We are looking at targeted crimes, and that's what I sense. So, and you also corroborate that. You say you suspect a organized crime network behind these kidnappings in Delhi. I'm going to take you through our viewers also some reactions from the parents of these missing people. Let's hear it.
सर, पुलिस को हमने सेम डे फ़ोन किया, रात को बोले कि थाने में सुबह आना, सुबह फ़ोन किया, शाम को बताएंगे बच्चा है, आ जाएगा, शाम तक आ जाएगा। पीसीआर पे कॉल किया, 112 पे आ जाएगा। जब हमें इनका कोई रेस्पॉन्स नहीं मिला, फिर हम नेक्स्ट डे सीधे खुद अपने आप हरिद्वार, पता लगा कि बच्चा हरिद्वार ट्रेन में देखा गया या ऐसी न्यूज़ मिली, तो हम वहाँ पहुँचे, वहाँ CCTV चेक किया, बच्चा दिखाई दिया। वहाँ से हमने इन्हें फ़ोन किया, मतलब 30 हो गया, फर्स्ट हो गया, सेकंड हो गया, ये यहाँ से थर्ड को गए 3 दिन तक। फिर थर्ड को जाने के बाद इन्हें चाहते तो वहाँ लोकल होटल्स के कैमरे थे, कुछ कैमरे ऐसे होते हैं जिनको हम नहीं देख सकते, ये चाहते तो उन कैमरों को चेक करते, पकड़ लेते। ये कहते रहे बच्चा आ जाएगा, 1 दिन में आ जाएगा, 2 दिन में आ जाएगा, 3 दिन में। आज बच्चे को 5 महीने हो गया। अब मैं उनसे पूछना चाहता हूँ जो ये कह रहे थे ना उस टाइम पे, बहुत बड़े भाषण दे रहे थे कि बच्चा 2 दिन में आ जाएगा, कहाँ है दरोगा जी वो? आप
दिल्ली में लापता व्यक्तियों, विशेषकर बच्चों के संबंध में किसी भी प्रकार की घबराहट या भय का कोई कारण नहीं है। पूर्व की तुलना में दिल्ली में लापता व्यक्तियों की रिपोर्टिंग में कोई वृद्धि नहीं हुई है, बल्कि जनवरी 2026 के माह में पिछले वर्षों की समान अवधि की तुलना में लापता व्यक्तियों की रिपोर्टिंग के मामलों में कमी दर्ज की गई है। ये भी उल्लेखनीय है कि दिल्ली पुलिस में अपराधों की निष्पक्ष एवं पारदर्शी रिपोर्टिंग की नीति अपनाई जाती है। लापता व्यक्तियों की रिपोर्ट न केवल स्थानीय पुलिस थाने में दर्ज कराई जा सकती है, बल्कि ऑनलाइन माध्यम से अथवा ERSS 112 के माध्यम से भी दर्ज कराई जा सकती है। हमारे निर्धारित SOP के द्वारा दिल्ली पुलिस इन सभी मामलों में लापता व्यक्तियों का तुरंत से तुरंत पता लगाने का प्रयास करती है, जिसमें लापता बच्चों के मामले को विशेष प्राथमिकता दी जाती है। इस संबंध में सभी जिलों में डेडिकेटेड मिसिंग पर्सन स्क्वाड्स एवं क्राइम ब्रांच में एंटी ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग यूनिट कार्यरत है, ताकि इस विषय में केंद्रित एवं प्रभावी कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित की जा सके।
All right, we've heard one of the parents there. I'm going to try and get you more reactions. The police saying that there's nothing alarming here in compared to last year's data. It's not like this year it's increased. I don't know, that's still not consoling. Ashina Savarkar, who's a social activist, to give us a little more. Ashina, are you convinced with what the police has to say?
Not at all, not really, because if we see the numbers, which are very, very alarming, imagine like 50 disappearances per day from the national capital.
54,
and it's really,
yeah.
really, this is completely heartbreaking. Now imagine a child going to the school, a female worker going to the office place, a mother going to buy the grocery and never coming back to the home. Now imagine the agony, the pain they must be suffering. And I don't know why the government is again still on the petty issues of the politics of the government, but this is the most alarming situation the government needs to tackle on. Like everyone, and the data says that almost 200 children are missing out of them, and most of these are women and girls. So I don't know who is accountable, because it should be government always, instead of putting their efforts on the dog situation which is currently happening in Delhi, the national capital. They should actually start working on this data. They should align some special task force for this, because there is no task force. I don't know why we are hearing such just commitments or statements from the police. But there should be real time tracking. It should be open to public, that they should know what is happening, where is this human trafficking going on, because it's just not this. It has been there since years. This is the practice which is there, and this is rapidly increasing in our country, which actually needs an urgent action and the coordinated task force and the specialized units. Because now if they don't work on it, this might actually jump to 100 disappearances per day. It can be 200 disappearances per day, and these are the recorded ones. I don't know, like
And
the
the gangs, or whatever, these organized gangs must be so emboldened with these numbers.
Absolutely.
Now. They're like, anyway, every other person is missing in Delhi. There's nothing surprising. The shock value itself is gone.
This is actually a very staggering number. Like two-thirds of them are women and children. We never know, are they going for the organ things, are they going for the human trafficking, they are being sent to some other countries, we never know. Like, but this is actually affecting the common people. And then there's a fear among girls. I am a girl, I'm a working person, I drive by myself to my workplace, but then when I come back and then listen to these news around Delhi, and I'm staying here in Delhi, and then this actually questions as a society, that where I'm residing as a democratic country. But then when I see the girls coming back from school, there's a fear in my mind that what is going to happen with them or with me if a female is traveling. Imagine you going home, and then something is wrong with the place, and then you're not going nowhere, and then no one is going to take care of it, because the FIR again gets filed after 12 hours of the people goes missing, and then there's no real tracking. Who is responsible for this?
So you're saying that the turnaround time itself is so delayed. When a family reports, the average response time from when a family reports the case and from the time they actually act on it, because they usually say wait for a day, they'll come back.
Exactly. This is a concern. They actually need to revise this for this particular case, because this is like increasing like anything, and no one would actually feel safer. Even the young boys who are going to school, the parents might be concerned that this is happening with a girl. I mean, there are men which are
what message are we sending out? Globally, we are talking about India progressing leaps and bounds, and we talk about India being safe for foreigners and whatnot. When Indian citizens are not safe, with what moral face do we have to convince anyone else anywhere else, right? So the global messaging that this really sends out from the national capital, Delhi, urban as it can get, you have 807 people missing in just 15 days, first 15 days of January 2026. Ms. Rekha Agarwal, give us a sense of what this statement really speaks of. It's an absolute failure of law and order. That's that apart.
Nabila, I mean, of course, it is a very alarming situation. The statistics are increasing, day by day. And one of the most important fundamental rights which is guaranteed under the Constitution is the right to life, the right to liberty, and the right to lead a life of safety, a protected life. So a life is not just survival, but security is included in that. And I think that the power, the authorities, that is the police authorities, I do have faith in the Delhi police. And since security is a state subject, it is not a center subject. So each state is responsible for its law and order situation. And one cannot generalize and say that, there is an abysmal lack of duty by the police. It would not be fair to criticize the police, in one stroke, because there could be many angles to it. It could be kidnappings, abductions, human trafficking, transplant, organ racket, immoral trafficking. It could be anything, or it could be just a coincidence that so many people are probably leaving the city, going to, kind of migrating, whatever it could be. And youngsters often just decide to go wherever they want. And with today's age, where there's so many options available to them, and what with it being the age of the internet, where communication has become very, very easy. So we very often hear of youngsters just deciding to go away, leave their family fold, and go to another city, maybe just for an adventure. So it would be very difficult for me to kind of pinpoint and place my finger on it, that what, where they are going, who is behind it, whether it is a racket. But I do think that if in the day and age that we are living, electronic surveillance needs to be kind of updated, brought up to the mark,
Yeah.
because there has to be an answer. I mean, I think that all of us panelists, that I heard Mr. Rao, and I heard the social work, activist also. But it would be kind of unfair, I would say, that if we just say that it is a lack of duty and that the police is not doing their job. Something is absolutely, as I said, truth is stranger than
So
fiction,
then
as the
what?
old adage
Then
goes.
what is the explanation here? Is the police department overwhelmed, Mr. Rao? Is the department overwhelmed? And okay, we're looking at Delhi police being handled by the central government. So ideally, we should feel more protected. Delhi should be more protected. They should have better vigilance because it's handled by the central government, not the state. And
Yes,
yet,
Nabila,
these are the numbers.
Yes, Nabila, that's good. That's very correct that this Delhi police is directly under the control of Home Ministry
Yes.
and under the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. No doubt in that. But police is doing their job and they are efficiently doing theirs. And no doubt there may be some shortage of staff, and that this aspect of the missing persons should be given more concentrated efforts by the senior officers. I think the Commissioner of Police, by all these today's so much concern about the missing persons, that police commissioner should also make some more positive efforts to augment the sources for this kidnapping squad of crime branch. And no doubt the crime branch officers are doing their best, and they are most efficient officers are deployed there. In that, there is no doubt in that. But still, there is a need to be more efficient and more sincere about, because as we know, when somebody's child is missing, then we can understand, when only we can imagine the situation of the parents, what is there. That is only they may only be thinking about.
We actually have another parent's reaction, sir. Let's play that out for our viewers.
I agree about that. Yes.
यहाँ से 10 तारीख को घर से सुबह 7 बजे निकला और गया यहाँ से, घर से बोला कि हॉस्पिटल जाना है मुझे थोड़ा यहाँ कौशिक, और फिर इतना ही करके बोल करके निकला। फिर वो लौट करके आया नहीं। 2-2:30 बजे तक इंतज़ार किया। घर में पूछे तो वो लिकीवर से नहीं, अभी तक तो नहीं आया। तो मैंने कहा खाना खाने तो आ जाना चाहिए, इतना कोई दूर तो है नहीं। फिर प्रयास करने लगे, ढूंढने लगे इधर उधर, कहीं पता नहीं चला। फिर दूसरे दिन FIR करवाए। हाँ, वो थाने गए, थाने में रिपोर्ट करवाए और फिर ढूंढ ही रहे हैं जब से, अभी तक तो कोई पता ही नहीं है। 3 महीने होने को है।
पुलिस से बातचीत हुई, पुलिस आई, पुलिस ने आपकी मदद की, ढूंढने की कोशिश की?
हाँ, पुलिस बोले कि भाई हम अपना जो है कार्य कर रहे हैं, अपने हिसाब से ही करेंगे ना, हम आपको कहने से थोड़ी ऐसा करेंगे कि जो कि आप जो कहोगे वो करेंगे। ढूंढने का काम तो ठीक है, आपका दर्ज हो गया है FIR और रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक मैं अपने हिसाब से कार्य कर रहा हूँ। अब क्या किए नहीं किए वो तो वही जाने अपने हिसाब से क्या करते हैं नहीं करते हैं जो।
मेरे हस्बैंड कई बार इधर मतलब थाने में भी कई बार गए, उन्होंने कई बार वो करा। एक ये मेरा भैया है छोटा, तो ये भी कई बार दोनों जीजा साले काफ़ी मतलब इधर कोई लक्ष्मी सिंह है उनके पास भी ये 5-6 बार गए, वो भी नहीं मिली ना। हमने नेताओं की सिफारिश भी लगाई, कहीं कुछ नहीं हुआ हमारा। दादी थाना में कई बार गई, खुद मैं भी गई हूँ 2-3 बार, पर ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ। बस ये दिलासा देते रहे कि जी ढूंढ तो रहे हैं तुम्हारे बच्चे को। अरे जब तुम मेरे बच्चे को ढूंढ रहे हो तो आज मुझे कुछ बताओ तो सही। आज पाँचवा महीना चल गया है, इसमें कुछ तो क्लू मिलता कि बच्चा कहाँ है कैसे है। और जब हमने बताया कि 30 सितंबर को मेरा बेटा हरिद्वार में देखा गया, वीडियो भी है हमारे पास, तो पुलिस उसके थ्रू वहाँ उत्तराखंड में भी तो जाकर देख सकती थी। अगर पुलिस चाहती ना तो मेरे बच्चे को वो हरिद्वार में ही पकड़ लेती।
See, you know, one thing is consistent with all the parents here is that they say, अगर पुलिस चाहती तो कर सकती, पुलिस चाहती तो कर सकती. They have videos, they have links, they have traces, but the police is not aiding them. Ellen Rao, it's impossible for me to believe that the police can't crack this. How difficult is this? If they want to, they can put their might and ensure that they at least minimize the numbers. We can't have the same numbers from 2016 to 2026, 10 years on, and the numbers are still as worse. Despite all advanced technology, so which means there's zero commitment to finding them.
Nabila, definitely I agree with you that the commitment by the police should be on priority about these type missing people, and because I can understand the agony of the parents. Anybody can understand. Then if somebody's child is missing, then what may be in the situation, maybe the situation in the family. We can only think about it, but when they feel it, they also that police should think about those things, and they should be more sensitive.
That's what we hope. We hope that the law enforcement is more sensitive, but that clearly in the national capital, I think it's just become a case of numbers. That's it. Rekha Agarwal, a quick word from you on how what legal aid can any of these, you know, we are seeing most of these families who are backward.
I think that, of course, as you're right, it's very, very sad that most of the families are, where there's incidents have happened are backward areas, not financially very strong. But I think that the only recourse would be to file a habeas corpus petition in the court. I mean, for that, the legal remedy is to file a habeas corpus and ask the police to do their duty, and which literally means, produce the body, whether it is dead or alive. So I think that is one, but how many people, unfortunately, how many people do have access to lawyers? How many can really go to the court and file a writ petition in the High Court, in Delhi, and say that produce my child, and I don't care whether, where my child is, but the police should answer. But I think that we do have, free legal aid where women are concerned. And if any lady, who wants to seek legal help, she can get it free of cost. There are legal aid lawyers also, DLSA, Delhi Legal Aid Services Authority is there. And of course, as you said, that you rightly said that not many of the women would be belonging to that, strata, whether they be educated or whether they be financially capable of going to the court. It's not easy to go to the court in our country, but the only remedy is to file habeas corpus and ask the court to produce the person.
Well, Ashina, your final word on this. I have nothing to say. I can't believe these numbers are so high, and I see all of us are at a loss of words. All we can hope is for the police to act.
Yeah, this is actually very unfortunate, but yes, all we can say is the improved safety measures, it can start even from a better lighting on the streets. It can even start from the CCTV cameras. It can even start with, collaborating.
Can I say what we can start with is just basic coordination between police forces from the railway, the railway platforms, the bus terminals, the shelters, state borders, just better coordination between teams who are monitoring these areas is all we need. That's
above all, yes, above all, the use of technology, because AI, it's just the next level where we can use a good tracking equipments with the government tracking things, and then again collaborating with the law vigilance, law enforcers, making the social groups for the family supports of the missing people. Then again, we also have to, as a common people, as a common citizen residing in the national capital, we should also be reporting the suspicious activities to the authorities. So this is what we can do, at least to support the government and then do the needful for their society.
You know, from what I see here, this is something that the police needs to address with utmost priority. Not just the police, citizens, the government, the judiciary alike should be focusing on this more than anything else at all, let alone all kinds of politics or even the SIR. I very strongly believe if life is not saved, what are we going to do with citizenship or voters' rights? When people are really missing and dying, or we don't even know what has happened to them. Imagine families are not even aware, there's no closure for them. That's the worst. The worst is that families don't have closure whether their loved ones are living or dead. Well, that's all I have here. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you for joining us.